Okay, folks, good morning, good afternoon, whatever you want to call it. Thank you for watching. This is Wednesday's video. This is my weekly video that I do every Wednesday. These videos I will continue on to keep doing every Wednesday, and today we're outside here in Marathon, Florida. And today's video, affordable housing down here in the Keys and what that's like and stuff like that, because as you guys know, me and Pete have completed now. You saw the three-part series of leading the Bahamas trip, and now we're actually out here for a couple reasons. One is just recharging the batteries. The boat needs some work. The stuff that we learned, over in the Bahamas and stuff like that, like we're losing our radar. It's just about gone. And a couple things like that, but also, so the boat needs some refurbing, and we're going to get on that. One of the projects I'm going to work on is repainting this top deck here. I'll get on that pretty soon because I want to catch that before the rainy season starts. So I'll keep you guys updated on the videos on what we're doing with that. But basically, I'm just going to sand it all down, put 2 coats of primer on it. And also, I'm trying to get a couple paychecks in here, because instead of going negative on my checking account every week, I want to start going into a positive. So we'll just talk about that real quick, because the video here is obviously about affordable living down in the Keys. So I'm getting a lot of phone calls lately, about people wanting to sell their houses and live this dream lifestyle, let's call it, because I do think a lot of people dream about it, but the reality of it is it's very expensive. It kills me when people call up and say, I want to be a liveaboard, blah, blah, blah. And it's not that simple. You got to have an address off of the boat. So I don't care if it's a family member, I don't care if it's where you register the boat, but you have to have an address besides your physical address of where the boat's at. And I would never claim that I was a liveaboard. You just can't. You can say that you're a transient, and then you can buy a liveaboard permit. But if you're going to finance a boat, which I don't recommend, but if you are going to finance a boat and have any financing from the bank, they're not going to like that word liveaboard, and you won't be able to get a conventional bank loan. You'd have to go to a credit union or something like that. So it's another reason not to say that you're a liveaboard. And there's just ways around it. Right now, we're having actual problems with getting insurance on Southern Estate. And we have to keep our policy active, the one that we had, the original policy that we have. And I need to get a survey on the boat, but the boat's ready to come out of the water anyway. And as soon as it comes out of the water to have the hull repainted, I'm going to go ahead and I'll do a full survey on the boat. And then my getting insurance will be not as big a problem. The problem will be the cost of it, and if I want to move that insurance down here to Florida, it's going to be very, very expensive, because it's not a matter down here. It's not a matter of if, it's when the hurricane comes. So it's one of those things that you got to live with, especially if you're living on a boat full time, like me and Pete are doing now. Now, I'm not saying that we're going to stay living on the boat full time, but right now, that's our plan, and we'll probably be here for at least the next 6 months. So let's talk about the options that we had when we got down here. So we can either live in a marina, which is super, super easy, but very, very expensive. They used to have summer rates down here where you could come in here and live on your boat reasonably, let's say $700-800 a month, but those days are gone. From what we understand, at every marina that we're checking into right now that allow liveaboards, they're all at that it's right around $1,500 a month. By the time you pay your power and everything, it's about $1,600-1,700 a month. So that's no joke. That's a lot of slip rent right there. But if we want to rent a house, or we want to do something, you're probably it's probably double that. Plus, it's probably about $3,500 a month. And then if we wanted something with the dock that this boat could pull up to, we'd probably be looking at somewhere around $4,500 a month, which could be an option later on. When we get things rolling, and I'll talk about that here in a minute towards the end of the video. But anyway, so that is one option. And we're older, we're 60 years old. I am working full-time now. Love my job. It's my favorite job. I wish it paid any money, but it doesn't. But my plan is, as you guys know, 3-year plan, and I'd love to drive out of here in a brand new, or not a brand new, it doesn't have to be brand new, but a newer, let's say 2015, 10 to 15 Fleming 65 foot but we'll see if that's possible, if I can do that in a 3-year period, 3 to 4 years. I'd like to leave here when I was about 64, 65 years old. That way I'm done. I've got my Social Security going on, and I'm not done retired, but I'm done to go and leave for another couple of years, and I'd love to go do the world. I really, really would, and I'd like to take you guys with me. And I'll mention it again. I'd love to give away Southern Estate to one of, not necessarily a YouTube subscriber. I don't want to start that. I don't want to say that. I have said that in the past, but it could be. It could easily be a YouTube subscriber, or it would be hard to explain. But like right now, if I was giving my boat away, it'd be to like a guy that supported me this whole time. His name is Harold. Just calls me right now. We're negotiating a boat with him. You know, and just a great guy. Love him. He has the money. He could keep the boat up. You know, that would be the type of person that I would be looking for to take Southern State over and keep going with the project that I've created. You know what I'm saying? Helping people and doing things like that for the community and stuff like that. Anyway, so down here in the Keys, we pay the slip rent. It's about $1,600. You know, it's hard to tell you the exact number because the power bill varies a little bit, but last month it was $1,600. We've been here for 1 month. I've been working at Little Palm Resort now for 1 month, 2 weeks of training, and I've been on my own for 2 weeks. Like I said before a second ago, I love the job. My favorite job I ever had, but you know, it's basically a $50,000, $60,000 a year job, and I couldn't even afford this slip paying that kind of rent. But because me and Pete split it, for each of us, it's about, you know, let's just say $800 a month to live here. And when you break that down in your check, that's a quarter of my check every single payday, every month. So that's a lot of money to pay for just your rent. But we do have cheaper options, and one of those cheaper options would be go right out here into the harbor. And this is Boot Key Harbor that we're in right here in Marathon, Florida. And you can go rent a ball over there. And to rent that ball, it costs right at $400 a month. And what you get for that $400 is you get a post address, you get an address that you can claim, you get showers that you can go use, you get a dinghy dock that you can go, you can get a parking permit for your car, just like we have here. You know, we can park our cars here. So that's what we get for that money, for that $400 a month. And there is a few other mooring fields here in the Keys that you can do it, and you can live aboard there. And then they send a pump out, like right here at this marina. They pump our boat out every Friday. Over there, I think in the mooring field, depends where you're located in the mooring field and whether you're on anchor. You guys know that me and Pete stayed over there for a month before we left for the Bahamas, getting the boat ready, and at 2 different times. It was a total of a month, and we stayed on the hook, but they still came over and pumped us out. I think it was every Thursday where we ended up being on the hook. So that's another option that we have. So option number 1 is you can get a slip out here. Slips are pretty easy. Now if you come during the season, like in the heart of the winter time, you're not going to get a slip. But if you come here and set yourself up and come through and sit through the summer, you can easily get a slip here, no problem at all. There's slips that are going to be open because everybody leaves for the summertime. And we'll let you know as the summer goes on here. You'll know watching these Wednesday videos. I think we're at week 18, 19. You'll know what it's like to live out here in the summertime. I don't think it's going to be that much different than Alabama, where we were at over there in the Gulf. I can tell you the beaches over there on the Gulf side still my favorite beaches. And you know, I talked to Beverly yesterday, my ex-wife, and she said that, Paul, the beaches there, and now that I've been to the Bahamas, now that I've been, you know, all over Florida, up and down, I'll agree with her, man. Those beaches over there where we were at were probably some of the prettiest in the world. It's hard to believe that it's just crystal white beaches over there in the Gulf, on that Gulf side. You know, that Destin, Fort Myers, all that area over there. It's just absolutely gorgeous. So anyway, then the second option here is, you know, the mooring field, and you can jump into a mooring field. Let's say $400 a month. And then the next option number 3, is you can just throw your hook out. Now with that option, when you just throw your hook out and you're just free falling on the hook, it would still cost us, you know, probably a couple $100 a month. You still got to get your boat pumped out. They don't want to let discharging your sewage overboard. And then you need fresh water, so you got to bring your fresh water in somehow. And more than likely you'd be pulling over to a dock and you got to pay for your water. Everything costs money out here. They charge for your water, they charge to come pump you out, or you can take your boat over there, but you're still going to pay for the pump out and you're still going to pay for the water. So I'm gonna throw that price at about $200 a month. So you can come out here, live on your boat on the hook for about $200 a month, but you better have a good dinghy, I can tell you that. So I can even pull over to Newfound Harbor, which is the harbor that I work in. I could throw my hook out and I could survive a month over there, just drive right to work. And then I could probably even arrange to use the dock at night to get water and stuff like that. So now that I have an inn, I could probably do it even a little bit cheaper, and we may do it. Me and people may one day say, hey, let's go over there for a month or something like that, especially when the cooler season comes out and we don't have to run the generator so much. But I'd like to add another solar panel here to Southern Estate before I did that. That way maybe it can keep up with the power consumptions without even running the generator, because right now we have to run the generator 4 hours in a 24-hour period. So it doesn't matter, and that's to charge the batteries. And if we to get that down, I think if I added one more, let's say 400 watt panel, I think it would be very close. I think I could cut that down. I think it would hold up, especially when on non-cloudy days and stuff like that. So those are basically the three options, and all of them will cost money. And then if you're anywhere in any state, you need to go down to your marinas. One of the other options that I did, this was when I was younger, let's say I think it was 2011ish, 10 or 11ish. What I did, because we knew we were going to go live on a boat, and we were going to go down to a very populated place, which was Long Beach, California. And what me and Bev did several years before that is we put our name on a list for a liveaboard permit. So, and then we moved our boat in there. And we weren't liveaboards at the time. We were living in Vegas. But I said, hey, I want to live on this trawler. I want to live down here. And how much does it cost? I think back then it was, I don't know, $250, and we put our name on the list. And then when they call you, you either take the permit or you don't take the permit. It's that simple. Well, it just so happens I lost my job. We took the permit and they happened to just call me. It all just happened. It was perfect timing. But I was literally on that list for about 2 years. So anybody planning to do something like this, you need to, look at your local marinas and stuff like that. If they do allow liveaboard, you need to get on the list, because in the populated areas, you're gonna pay, and you'll get that. Then you have parking, you have your mailbox, you can use it as a home address and stuff like that. Especially if you're paying cash for the boat. Remember, always in my world, cash is king. Anyway. Then, and that list could take a year to 2 years. Even if your boat and you're not living on it and you sold your house and everything like that, but you do plan on living on it, you need to get on that list now. Especially, if you're in that mindset of 2.5 to 5 years away. And with this economy changing, I don't know. I think more people, because of the affordable boating, and this is an affordable way to live, especially down here in the Keys, where we're surrounded by multi-million-dollar houses, but it doesn't take much to say $1 million house. A freaking trailer on a cove, it can be $1 million here. So that $1 million doesn't buy you a whole lot down here in the Keys. It just doesn't. Maybe it will. We'll see the market, the housing market crash a little bit, but I don't think it'll go low again. Another option for me and Pete is we may look at buying a slip at some point. But still, we're looking at about $200,000, and then you just got to weigh it out. Especially if I make the transition into the 65-foot Fleming, I would make sure that we bought a slip that would accommodate a 65-foot boat, and then it may be, an affordable place for us to live on the 65-foot Fleming when we're not cruising, and seeing the world and stuff like that. So it is an absolute viable option, and it may be something we do. Also, I know I haven't talked about this in a long time, and I'm really not going to talk about it, but when me and Bev did divorce, I liquidated everything into cash. That was all the crypto stocks, everything, and then kind of split it up with her 50-50. And now that that's all over and we're back from the Bahamas, I'm back to putting money back into the stock market, putting money back into cryptos. 20% of everything that I make will go into some type of investment, whether it's crypto, stocks, land, property, whatever. It will go into some type of an investment. Another thing that I'm going to go ahead and start doing is right now I have 3 jobs. I'm YouTube blogger. I work for Little Palm Resorts as the boat captain, favorite job I ever had. And I also broker boats. I've got 3 deals going on right now. Thank you so much, Scott. I can't say thank you enough. Steve, thank you. That's a little consulting that we got going on a boat down in Alabama, and then another consulting, and also the Nordic Tug. It's going to be listed with Mark Zingler. And we will, I'll put the listing down below here, because he is going to pay me a finder's fee if I do help him sell that boat. You know, it's not much, but it's, until I get my broker's license down here in Florida, there's not a whole lot I can do. And I do plan on doing that. It's a little bit more of a process down here. So I do appreciate it, though, and anybody needs me to go look at a boat down here in Florida, just let me know. I'm pretty close, you know, like I got to drive to Fort Myers, I believe, tomorrow to go look at a boat. Or that's actually, we're going to close on that boat. So that's to do the survey, I think, is tomorrow. So anyway, thanks, Scott. We'll see how that goes. You guys will be seeing the video after the survey, so we'll see what happens. Anyway, I appreciate you guys so much. I can't say thank you enough. You know, leave your comments down below. I haven't been responding to my comments like I should, but I am going to get back into it. I've just been, this last month is just making that transition to getting here, and then I worked that swing shift, so you know, making that transition has been a little bit of an ordeal. I'm not used to it, especially as I get older, and then the whole boat and the new boats and different boats every day. So it's, you know, it's just been an incredible journey, and the knowledge that I'm getting from driving these boats is just, because I'm never going to take my boat out in 30 knots of wind in a storm. I got to show you the storm right here. That, you know, this just a pop-up summer storm popped up. You know, we're in 35 knots of wind. Wind is the rain is just sideways, and I still got to go out. And you just wouldn't do that in your personal boat. You'd wait for it to blow over or go the next day. But out here, the incredible experience that I get is, you know, wind, current, you know, and driving these, they're right at 40-foot boats in all of these conditions, because we never shut the boat down except for in a hurricane. That's the only time we shut the boat down. So it's a very cool experience, and we have some very tricky spots to get in and out of. So it just makes me such a great captain. Keeps my mind working, because you know, you got to look at those controls and figure out which engine you need, forward, reverse, you know, and especially as you're fighting the current. We have this one thing we call the keyhole. I'll show you a little video of it right here. We had to back the boat out, and you know, it challenges you every single time. You know, boating, anybody can set the autopilot and just look, but to actually, this job is all about docking, and all of the docking, none of it's easy. It's all tight, and it's all involves current, wind, and everything, and backing in, a lot of backing. You're doing a lot of backing with these boats. Anyway, peace out. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe. Share it with your friends. Thank you so much. You guys, anybody wants to reach out to me personally, no problem at all. I have an open book. I'm also going to start opening, we'll talk about it in next week's video, about we'll start setting up a structure, because instead of working a 4th job, what I'm going to do is open Southern Estate up for boating lessons, or come out to you and do boating lessons. And that's what I'm going to do in my spare time. I was going to take a 4th job, but I'm not going to do it. I'm going to stay focused on what I'm doing here and helping the people that want the help. Anyway, peace out. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Bye.